It all started with a whisper from the grave, literally. A lone girl, dirt-caked and wide-eyed, clawed her way out from beneath the earth. Her name was Mel. Her breath shuddered in the stillness, her body trembling as she staggered into the night. But before she could take more than a few steps, a shadow emerged. Tall, silent, wielding a pickaxe like a symbol of judgment. She pleaded. He didn't listen. One swing and the silence returned. Now, in the present day, 5 friends speed down a back road in a weather-beaten car, the air thick with secrets and tension. Among them is Clover, Mel's sister, who's still clinging to hope that the strange video Mel sent from her final known location might lead to answers. They've come to retrace her steps, hoping to unravel the mystery of her disappearance. Their journey first takes them to a dusty roadside store, the last place Mel was seen alive. In a shaky video message recorded there, Mel had confided how much she missed their late mother and how suffocating the house had become. She needed air. She needed escape. Inside the car, tensions flare. Megan, who's always claimed to be a little sensitive to the otherworldly, asks the group to hold hands, to connect with Mel's lingering energy. Just as the moment becomes almost transcendent, a truck horn cuts through like a scream in the dark, shattering the calm. Inside the store, Clover speaks to the cashier, clutching a photo of her sister. He recognizes the pattern. Strangers asking the same questions, sharing the same desperation. He warns her with a haunted look. People who wander toward Glore Valley vanish, like they were never there at all. Back outside, Abe, Nina's boyfriend, can't hold his concern in anymore. He thought they were just following Mel's trail, but Clover's made up her mind. This isn't just about clues. She wants to find her, alive, or whatever's left of her. The group drives deeper into the storm, the road twisting like it's leading nowhere. The woods grow denser, the rain heavier. Arguments erupt. Nina begs to turn back. Abe refuses. But just as the storm seems about to swallow them, it suddenly breaks, revealing a strange clearing under a patch of quiet sky. Ahead, an old house stands, alone, waiting. Drawn by morbid curiosity, or fate, they decide to investigate. Clover and Max stay outside, standing at the invisible line between the storm and the still air. It's unnatural, like the weather's been split in half. Max watches her carefully, silently guarding her grief. Inside the house, time has frozen. 90s furniture, dust-covered relics, and an eerie sand timer mounted on the wall make the air feel heavier. On a desk, Nina finds a guest registry book. She flips through the yellowed pages until her heart stops. Mel's name is scrawled there, her handwriting shifting from neat script to panicked scribbles. Abe starts filming as he explores deeper. In the next room, a faded poster reveals the faces of the missing, dozens of them. Among them, Mel, eyes bright. Now just another name on a wall of the forgotten. Back outside, Clover sees something. A figure, her sister, Mel, standing in the storm. No hesitation, Clover runs after her, into the rain and wind. Max follows, pulling her back just in time. As night begins to descend like a curtain, the group regathers inside, shaken but safe, for now. Then, the sand timer flips. No one touched it. But the grains begin to fall, slowly, quietly, like a countdown to something none of them are ready for. Just when the group starts to make sense of the house's twisted stillness, a loud bang echoes from outside, sharp, sudden, and ominous. They rush to the window, only to find the impossible. Their car has moved. No one touched it. But now, it's parked deep within the storm side of the compound, shrouded in rain and darkness. That's when fear really sets in. Panicked, they race back inside and bolt the doors. With no cell signal to call for help, Clover suggests searching for an old-fashioned way to contact the outside world. As Nina and Abe stay by the window, eyes fixed on the shadowy figure toying with their only escape, Clover, Max, and Megan descend into the basement. The power flickers above them, unreliable and threatening. Megan pulls out her phone, its flashlight slicing through the murky gloom. Amid old boxes and discarded memories, Clover stumbles upon a dusty landline, but the line is dead. Megan, digging deeper, finds a vintage radio and tries to tune in. All they get is screeching static. like something trying to scream through the noise. Upstairs, Abe hears another bang, this time from one of the side rooms. Against better judgment, he leaves Nina to investigate. Minutes pass, no sound, no return. Growing anxious, Nina goes looking for him. She opens the door and flicks on the light, and her world collapses. Her scream pierces the air as she sees Abe's body grotesquely torn in half, blood still dripping from the walls. Her voice cuts through the house like a siren, drawing Max out of the basement. Max arrives too late. He finds Nina's lifeless body next to Abe's mutilated remains, and a masked figure, towering and silent. Terror pushes him into action. He bolts, warning the others to hide, heart pounding louder than his footsteps. The trio ducks into cover. Silence falls again, until the figure moves through the shadows, right behind them. Max seizes his moment, grabs a chair, strikes, but the thing doesn't even flinch. He breaks the chair, tries to stab it with the shattered leg, only to have the figure snatch it and jam it through Max's eye like he's paper. He collapses, motionless. In the closet, Megan holds her breath, but the creature finds her. It yanks her out and smashes her head repeatedly into the floor until her screams dissolve into silence. Clover bursts from her hiding spot and drives a knife into the figure's back. Nothing. It's like stabbing air. She runs, through the halls, out into the trees, and there just ahead she sees her sister. Mel. Alive? No. Just another cruel illusion. Before she can react, the killer is behind her. The blade runs through her spine. She drops in the dirt, eyes wide and frozen. Then, everything rewinds. The sand timer resets. Time folds in on itself. And the nightmare begins again. The friends awaken back where it all started. But something's different now, they remember. They remember dying. The wounds they suffered are still there, half-healed echoes of the horror. In the house, on the wall of missing people, fresh faces have appeared, their own, like they've already been consumed by the house's curse. Megan's psychic instincts surge again. She feels it. The darkness is growing stronger. It's feeding off them, off their fear. Abe insists they need to leave, to break the cycle. But Nina, trembling and resolute, refuses. She reminds them that they were slaughtered just minutes ago, and her name now appears twice in the registry book. Just like Mel's, this isn't just a trap. It's a loop, and it's not over yet. Just when the group begins to believe the chaos is finally stilled, a figure steps silently into the room. Revealed to be the same quiet cashier from the roadside store, his presence now charged with eerie purpose. He turns to Clover with a faint, unsettling smile, telling her she was so close, that sitting still and waiting for salvation was never going to save her. Before she can process his words, Clover's head snaps violently, then bursts. Her body slumps. The timer reaches 0, silence. And then everything begins again. The world rewinds. The group jolts back to life, bearing the emotional scars of each death they've endured. But something is wrong. Megan runs her tongue along her teeth and freezes. An unfamiliar tooth has begun to grow, sharp and jagged like it belongs to something else. She stares at Clover, disturbed. Clover shakes her head. Waiting it out doesn't work. The timer isn't a solution, it's a trap. The group scrambles to dig through the wreckage of the building, desperate to uncover something, anything, to help them break the cycle. In a dusty cabinet, Clover finds a stash of old, worn IDs. They all bear the same photo but different names. One name catches her attention, Dr. Malcolm Hill, the store cashier. Her blood runs cold. Abe finds a yellowed newspaper stuffed inside a broken drawer. The headline reads, 1,000 dead in Glore Valley mine disaster. The article explains that the miners drilled too deep beneath the Earth's surface, unleashing something ancient. Survivors described screams echoing from below, as though the ground itself was alive with pain. In the wake of the catastrophe, a trauma expert was brought in to help the remaining townsfolk, none other than Dr. Hill. Putting the pieces together, Nina realizes that the entire town must have been swallowed in that disaster. Suddenly she spots a hidden door behind a curtain. Her hope spikes. Could this be a way out? But when she opens it, all she sees is a pitch-black corridor slanting downward, thick with a stench of rot and sorrow. It doesn't feel like escape, it feels like bait. Megan says aloud what they're all thinking. Whatever's behind this, it feeds on fear. As if answering her, Max finds an old VHS cassette tucked beneath the floorboards. He pops it into the nearest player, static. Then, a flickering image, a man locked inside a makeshift lab cell, his hands bloodied from clawing at the walls. On the screen, a voice Hills explains the patient is exhibiting advanced signs of psychological decay, starvation, atrophy, terror, and hopelessness. The trauma lives on, Hill says. It transforms the broken into monsters, Wendigos. Suddenly, the old radio crackles to life. Hill's voice again. This time, he speaks to them directly. There is a way out, he says. But freedom demands sacrifice. One of you must die, for the rest to escape Glore Valley. Clover shakes her head instantly. I'm not trading any of my friends for freedom. She begins to scan the walls, maps, notes, old sketches, until she finds what looks like a blueprint of the valley. A red X marks the woods. Her voice hardens. I think I know where Hill is hiding, and if my sister's really with him, I'm going. Hill agrees to meet, but only with Clover. Alone. Time is running out. The registry book shows no one has made it past 13 loops. They're already on their 9th. Abe sides with Clover. We can't keep dying like this. If she has a shot at ending it, let her take it. But his words strike a nerve. Clover's failed suicide attempts are no secret. And to Nina, this feels like another reckless plunge toward death. Her fury explodes. Without warning, she drives a pickaxe straight through Abe's chest. Don't you dare encourage her to die again, she screams, blood dripping from her hands. Then, without another word, she orders Megan and Max to go after Clover. She'll stay behind, clean up the mess. Deep in the woods, Clover moves quietly, driven by grief, desperation, and a sliver of hope. But just as she crosses a clearing, her foot snaps a tripwire. A hidden trap tightens around her leg and yanks her off the ground. Her screams echo uselessly into the trees. From the shadows ahead, something massive and dark begins to shift. Elsewhere in the woods, Max and Megan follow her trail using a fading flashlight. Megan feels something cold and wet splatter on her shirt. She looks up and freezes. Above them, clinging to the branches like a spider, is a deformed, grotesque figure, a Wendigo, its eyes gleaming with starvation. They bolt. They don't look back. Branches slash at their arms and faces as they sprint through the blackened woods. But in her panic, Megan trips, her arm slicing open on a jagged piece of glass hidden beneath layers of dirt and leaves. Beneath her, the ground gives way slightly, revealing a buried house hidden below, and from within it something begins to stir. As the glass beneath Megan continues to splinter, every movement threatens to collapse the surface completely. Max lunges forward and grabs her hands, trying to pull her back to solid ground. But before he can, a Wendigo crashes down from above, snatching Megan in its claws. Both of them plummet through the glass into the buried structure below, the creature dragging her lifeless body into the shadows. Max is left breathless, alone, but determined. Deeper in the woods, he finds Clover, miraculously still alive, but caught in a snare trap. Before he can free her, a familiar figure steps from the darkness. Mel, now fully transformed into a Wendigo. With no time to think, Max grabs a rusted mousetrap from the ground and slams it into Mel's face. The move stuns her just long enough for him to cut Clover loose, and together they bolt into the forest's deeper shadows. Knowing what must be done, Clover turns to Max and pleads, "You have to let me die again. I need to go back. We have one more chance to fix this." Though it breaks him, Max nods. With trembling hands, he slashes her, ending her life once again, sending her consciousness back into the cycle. Left behind and broken, Max stumbles through the forest, parched. He sips water dripping from a leaf, and moments later, his body convulses violently, then explodes in front of Mel, his last act reduced to blood and silence. Clover wakes up in the cycle once more. Abe groans, complaining of a sharp pain in his back. When he lifts his shirt, the group sees it. Something beneath his skin is moving. He's mutating. They try to calm him, pretending it's nothing. But the dread is unmistakable. Clover asks how long they've been trapped in this nightmare. Max guesses 4 nights, but Nina, with haunted eyes, tells the truth. It's been 13. The final night. No one has ever made it past this point. Clover opens the window. The world outside has changed. Dark, decaying homes loom in places where there were none before. Something's wrong. Then they realize Megan is missing. None of them remember how or when she vanished, except for Abe. He pulls out his phone. He's been recording each cycle. Together they watch. In one video, a claw slithers across Clover's cheek. She turns to the camera, and her face is no longer hers. In another, Megan speaks to the camera, saying she's going after Hill, determined to uncover what he's hiding, and maybe find the exit. Outside, a wailing siren breaks through the silence. Through the grimy window, they see Wendigos swarming toward the house. No more hiding. They arm themselves and head through the doorway they once feared. The path leads them into the forgotten, sunken village, Glore Valley, buried by the disaster so many years ago. Inside one of the crumbled buildings, they spot a Wendigo hunched over remains. They freeze, not daring to breathe. But luck fails them. Another creature sees them. Clover doesn't hesitate. She drives a pickaxe into its leg, trapping it, giving them a window to run. They make it into another room, only for the masked figure to crash through the roof. It lunges at Clover. Max steps between them. "Find Megan," he shouts. He holds off the beast, dodging claws and teeth, until Clover vanishes into the tunnel. Together, Max and the others take down the masked creature, smashing its skull with a sledgehammer. Elsewhere, Clover finds Mel waiting, hostile and monstrous. But this time, Clover doesn't hesitate. She shoves Mel onto a jagged iron bar, ending her for good. In the depths of the lab, Clover finds Megan locked in a cell. A Wendigo is chained directly across from her, twitching violently, almost loose. Clover races to the adjacent room, desperate to find the key. But Hill is there. He shuts the door behind her. He knows everything. He reads aloud from her file, exposing her pain, the depression, the panic, the suicide attempts. He tells her that every monster she's faced was born from the darkest corners of her own mind. They are her fear, her guilt, her despair, made flesh. As he monologues, Clover edges closer to a leaking pipe above him. She slips his coffee mug under, then sets it back in place. Outside, Max, Abe, and Nina are being hunted. Wendigos pour through the ruins like a plague. Inside the cell, Megan screams. The chained beast is seconds from breaking free. Hill finishes the coffee. Then he doubles over, gasping. He knows what's happening too late. Clover throws him back with all her strength. He explodes. Clover grabs the key, frees Megan, and together they race out of the lab, slamming the cell door behind them just as the creature inside rips its chain from the wall. But it's not over. More monsters pour out of the forest, chasing them relentlessly. The ground trembles. The sky is black. Then, a glimmer of hope. They spot an opening in the earth ahead. Max and the others arrive just in time, dragging them up and out of the pit as the clock ticks its final second. Only this time, it doesn't reset. The sky clears, the storm lifts, the world holds its breath. It's finally morning. Abe, already behind the wheel of the car, honks. "Let's go. We're not sticking around to see if it changes its mind." The group piles in, scarred but alive. They drive away from Glore Valley, finally free. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more deep dive horror edits and breakdowns. Until next time, survive the night.